Hey, so breaking away from the cons a little bit, let's talk like some horror movies real quick. And
Yeah.
then we can get back to some actor stuff maybe in a little bit or whatever. But let's talk about horror movies. So, what is I'm gonna ask you
I see this a mile away, Josh.
No.
You'd be
What is
surprised.
your
I'm
favorite-
53, you're 40, and he's 37. I can tell you his answers ahead of time.
You'd be
What is
surprised.
your-
actually.
What is your favorite horror movie? And then what is your favorite horror franchise?
Okay. Well, I've got kind of like a top 5 favorite horror movies, if that's okay.
Go roll with them. Let's hear them.
So, and I'm going to take so much shit for this, but I have my reasons. So, one of them is Scream 3.
Oh,
I know everybody hates it, but dude, think about it. The killer does it all by himself.
We can dive into it.
That might be a separate episode in itself. That might be a whole nother comeback. Let's talk about Scream 3 and how it sucks.
Yeah. And I'll tell you how much I love it. So I don't know.
Okay.
The thing I love the most about Scream is Ghostface. Like that.
Yeah.
Sydney's great and everything. I love her story too. But I feel like you get the most Ghostface in Scream 3 because when they're talking over the phone, like literally just one question, like when she's, at home, like he finds her in the middle of nowhere. Just that whole backstory about how he's her brother. And I don't know. For me, their relationship kind of resonates a little bit more than everybody gives so much to Billy and Stu. And I love Billy and Stu. Don't get me wrong. I love, I get they were the original, but it's like, if he's the one that was really behind it all, he should get more credit. Like
I hate that twist. I hate that twist.
That's the reason I hate the movie is they went back and he took credit for everything that happened prior.
Yeah.
Which I can understand the frustration, but also just that at the end monologue when he's like giving her like, "Why, dude? I have that like memorized like a song. It's just it's so badass. Like I don't know for me, and it's like the fact that he was able to do it all on his own without a partner. That was awesome. Like,
we got a friend of ours, Gregory, who loves Scream 3 too. That's one of his.
Yeah. We have a friend that comes on the show. He loves Scream 3, but he was supposed to have a partner though, but they wrote her out at the last minute, right?
I didn't know it was a girl. Oh, it might have been. Who was it going to be? The girl.
The girl that played Sydney in the movie. The short hair girl.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. So I do love. My wife's right. I do love the new Screams too. Like Scream 6 is this isn't my top 5, but Scream 6, dude. I said to myself, I'm like when 5 came out, I'm like I want 3 ghost faces. I want a double kill. I want to see 2 ghost faces at the same time. Didn't get it in 4. Didn't get it in 5. I got it in 6. I was like, yes, in the theater, dude. I didn't even care. I'm like, oh my God, there's 3. There's I guess 4. I don't know. It's weird because you could argue that there's 3, that there's 4, there's 5, and there's 6. All right. Well, who was your 5 though?
Well, it would have been the 2 dudes at the beginning, and then the dad and the 2 kids.
Right. You could kind of argue too, though, because, all right. So for one thing, like, is that other guy in the fridge really a killer because he didn't necessarily make a kill? Maybe, maybe not. We saw the guy from Spider-Man kill somebody, so he counts.
I don't count those guys as Ghostface though. Some people count those guys as canon Ghostface. I don't.
The one dude I kind of do ish because he did make a kill.
Yeah, sure.
But so then, if you think about it, again, this is like what side of the corner are you really on? Where are they going to go with this? You could almost say that Samantha is a killer. Here's why. She puts that Ghostface suit on and she murders a cop with the Buck 120.
Yeah, she did.
That's almost the 5th/6th killer. But I get what you're saying. I would say officially there's 3 with an extra 4th. That's kind of where it falls for me. So, yeah. All right.
Yeah, I want to ask you one. While we're on the topic of Scream, I want to ask you one question.
Yeah.
So, because me and Mike, I think we're actually agreeing on this about the Scream franchise. That number 1 has the best opening kill. I mean, the best opening of the Scream franchise. I mean, that's how me and Mike feel. But we think number 2 is pretty damn good. Like the opening sequence with the movie theater and how nuts it is, and like the hysteria of everything, and we think that's a pretty damn good opening. What are your thoughts on that?
So here's what I'll say. So I'm really annoying when it comes to talking about Scream because I could do a whole college like class on the Scream franchise. Scream for me, it almost like it does no wrong. All 6 of them, even the dreaded 4th one, I can still watch that. But
I think it's all right.
I do too. The only thing, and my buddy pointed this out to me, and you'll never not see it if you haven't. Watch 4 again. There's this weird fog like effect on the entire movie, and it's like super annoying. Like, but again, you can get past it. So for me, it's hard because I feel like the Scream movies do no wrong. I can literally watch any of them in any order and love them. Like I love all of it. But and I'll admit that's a bias. I don't know why. Probably because Scream was my very first horror movie. That's probably why I love it so much.
Okay.
Scream, yeah. So, but opening wise, man, that's a hard one because like Scream, my wife likes to. 2 is really good.
Yeah, I think so.
I want an experience like 2, sans the murder, obviously, but I would love to go to a theater full of fucking ghost faces and just be able to like, yeah, dude, let's celebrate this shit. Or have a stab-a-thon like they do in, Scream-a-thon like they do in 4, like, hey, let's watch all 6 of them, like, I want that, you know what I mean? There's these things that like, but that's what I love about Scream because it's like, it's so like 4-dimensional. Like you've got Scream itself, you've got Stab, so it's their movie within a movie, but then they also are a commentary on real life other movies. You know what I mean? So it's like,
and Gail's book.
Yeah, and Gail's book as well. So I love the franchise so much. So man, that's really hard because I love the conversation between Tara and Ghostface in 5.
Okay. That's good.
I'm gonna tell you what, if they ever bring Sam back and they ever start, I think eventually they will.
Yeah.
Sam is going to be a killer. She's hinted at it the whole time. She will be a killer, I believe.
You want to pitch my idea for Scream 7? I've got a fairly good idea for Scream 7.
Let's hear it. We're on it, man. We're on.
I like the idea of it being a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
I like the idea of bringing Stu back.
Yes.
I would love to. Okay, so have you guys seen the movie, the Flanagan movie Hush?
Yeah, I see. Yes. Yeah.
That's a scary movie. That's the one that Michelle won't watch, right?
Yeah, my wife will not watch that movie.
That is a scary flick.
Two things Scream hasn't done yet: holiday movie, home invasion movie. What if Scream 7 was just a home invasion movie, where there was like maybe Sydney was having like a Christmas party with Gail and Samantha and Tara and like all the cast, right? Let's say we can bring them all in. And there is like, we've been through this together. Let's celebrate as a family, blah, blah, blah. Mark Kincaid's there. I don't know if you guys caught that. She's still married to Mark. Like,
yes.
2 girls. So, or 3 girls or however many. 2 girls, I think. But, so you've got like your cast there, right? So my what if is like, what if one of them is dating a guy and he's like the inside guy, right? And Ghostface is attacking from the outside or whatever. And again, I don't have all like the details or whatever, but like, people are kind of dying or whatever. There's got to be some other people for bodies, right? So there's people there or whatever. But like, you do find out that Ghostface is actually Stu and he's alive. And when he does like the face reveal, his face is all like fucked up and one of his eyes is like, like not there or whatever. And you find out that he did live, he did have a son. And his son is the inside guy dating one of the characters. And it's like the 2 of them are conspiring together. That would be my idea for Scream 7. Now, would people like it? I don't know. But it'd be kind of a cool way to kind of wrap it up or, make it different.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think they need to do something. I don't know what they're going to do with Scream 7, but I'm all for Stu coming back. But you got to have Nev come back as well.
Oh,
okay,
yeah,
so what is, I mean, we can talk three more.
Tell us your other 4.
Oh, yeah, tell us your other 4 movies. Sorry.
So my favorite horror movie of all time is probably gonna. People think I'm ridiculous for this, but I just love.
No. What's your What? No, finish your top 4.
4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, so kind of in no particular order. So, Nightmare on Elm Street 3: Dream Warriors.
That's good.
I love that one.
Mm-hmm.
Halloween H2O is in there. That's one of my top ones. I know people don't like it, but again, it was okay. So when I was growing up and when I was a kid, I first started watching. Yeah, I watched Scream. Scream was my first horror movie. My second horror movie was Halloween H2O. My sister and I got really into the Halloween movies, so like H2O just really resonated with me. Now, obviously, which one do I think is the best out of all of them? Halloween 2, but Halloween H2O is probably my favorite just because again, it has that nostalgic aspect of it. You know, that was back when Josh Hartnett was in his prime.
Right.
You know, I love the story.
What about the eye holes on the mask?
So I get the frustration there. It's hard. Again, it's hard because, like, you know, yeah, it's kind of like, you know, they're big, and then, you know, you go through the scenes and it changes, and it's like, but you know, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's a feel good. Like I can just throw it on.
I get that.
Yeah,
I get that.
Man, yeah, that's not one of my top 5 though. Oh. I would probably say, gosh, Friday the 13th Part 6 is in there.
Okay, I like that one.
Yep, I think is that 4?
Yep. Yeah, one more.
So my all-time favorite horror movie, Freddy versus Jason.
Really?
Yep. Now, if you want to keep going, probably my top 10, Saw 2, Purge Election Year. You know, there's a lot. I mean, The Strangers would probably be my top 10. Like, that's a great movie. No. House of a Thousand Corpses. 31. Have you guys seen 31? That's a great movie. Ooh, that's another Rob Zombie movie that I highly recommend.
I'm not into Rob Zombie horror movies, man. I think they're just so bizarre. I just don't care for them.
Yeah.
I couldn't stand his Halloween movies are horrible. I won't watch them ever again.
I watched the first one. That was all right. Then I get what you're saying, but the second one, this is actually another funny story. So the second one, we got through the first 50 minutes of it, and then she wakes up. What the fuck? Like, that's half the movie. So I'm like, I'm turning this shit off. And then it was funny because I met Tyler Maine, and when I met him, I was so sick. But I shouldn't have been at this con, but I went anyway. And I was like, yeah, I've only seen the first one, haven't seen the second one. He's like, don't watch it. The Michael Myers in that movie himself told me not to watch it.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a white horse or a unicorn or something, and his wife's like a witch and a white witch, or it's like really weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
And Michael Myers' mask is like really messed up. It's like, I mean, it shows like half his face in the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what's your favorite horror franchise? Like, I mean, that has the most consistently movies that you just enjoy in the franchise? I guess, I mean, besides Scream.
Friday the 13th.
Okay. Friday the 13th.
Yeah. You know, Halloween has been all over the place, dude. Like,
yeah.
I love it. You know, I love it. You know, I can go back and watch a lot of those. You know, the ones I usually will repeat watch are 1, 2, 4, 5, H2O, and then the beginning of Resurrection. Like, just, you know.
God, Resurrection?
Oh, yeah, it's bad. But, I mean, it's like it just kind of that beginning scene just kind of bookends it. The 2018 trilogy.
Yeah, let's get on David Gordon Green's.
Let's talk about Friday 13th real quick. Which are your favorite 3 movies of the Friday 13th?
Ooh. Not including Freddy versus Jason, right? So I got to go 6 for sure. 4.
4 is great.
No, that's a toss up. It's like 6. I love so much about 7 and 8 both. So I got to give you 4 because I can't pick between 7 and 8.
Yeah.
So
and the original's boring, isn't it? The original Friday 13 is very boring.
It's one of those things where you got to get through the original. You know, but I mean, as much as we love Halloween, even that's kind of boring, right?
Told you, Mike.
I love it.
If it wasn't for number 1, Josh, there would be no 2 through 12.
So I want to answer one of your questions since we're talking about it. So
okay.
One of your questions was, do I have any cool memorabilia from like an actor, right?
Oh, yeah.
So this is actually one. I wore this specifically to show off. So Ari Lehman gave me this as a gift.
Oh,
cool.
Yeah, I've held on to it it's obviously he didn't wear the mask, but I mean he I was at a really crappy con. I don't mind talking bad about this con because they're no longer. So I was at this con in Danville, Illinois called Villains Con. It was in an abandoned ice rink that they use as an event center. It was like bum nothing town. I was there with the voice actor that played Goldar, the suit actress that played Rita, and Zed. The voice of Zed was there. I was just there hanging out and helping out. And then he was one of the guests there. So he was across from us. Nobody was making any money. We were just like, had Rufus from Supernatural, like just all these people. And so like it was like nobody was gonna make any money. It sucked. Like it was bad. But we were kind of just all hanging out or whatever. And we, he was like, oh yeah, I got the, he came over and he was like, hey man, you said you're a horror fan. I want to give this to you. And it was this necklace. So yeah, this is definitely one of those. And then, man, I can't go without talking about Terrifier. I love Terrifier. Have you guys seen Terrifier?
I'm a big Terrifier fan.
Mike is not me. No.
Yeah, like we went to that last convention and we actually the last two we went to, Elliot and then Laura Laverne.
Yeah.
Both are really, really nice. And Elliot was super nice to my son. I mean, he took a picture with him, didn't charge him, and signed an autograph for him. And both of those guys are top notch in my opinion. But I still want to see David. Is it David Thornton?
David Howard Thornton. Yeah.
Yeah. I still want to meet him. I haven't seen him yet, Adam, but I like him because it's something new, something different. And to me, Art the Clown is just, he's scary as shit.
Yeah. Well, that's a movie. Like my wife had tried to get me to watch it originally. I hadn't gotten around to watching it yet. And then a buddy of mine that I worked with was like, dude, you got to check this movie out. So I was like, all right, sweet. So came home. She's like, oh yeah, I was telling you about that. So we watched it together. And then I just saw them. Like my friend Mark and I volunteered at Days of the Dead. I think it was 2018. He was working with Damien, I was working with David the whole weekend. Those guys were just super personable, hung out with us. He does the in-costume photo ops literally at every show they do. So it was like we see them everywhere. They're repped by Bob Catalino. I feel bad mispronouncing his name. The guy who he also reps like John Wesley Shipp, and he does Alice Cooper. But so I mean, like we've gotten to know them pretty well. I see them at every show I go to. They're there. I mean, I think one of the last times I saw David, he had a big long line in Chicago, and I was like, hey man, he's like, oh hey, hold on a second. He stops his line, came out and gave me a hug and asked how I was doing. So I mean, that's how
awesome. That's cool.
David's just such a great guy, and I cannot wait to see Terrifier 3. I'm so excited. We were even pumped for Terrifier 2. Like we went to see, they weren't showing it in our city, so we had to go over to Purdue University to watch it at their theater, and then we did the re-release of Terrifier in theaters, got the poster and all that, and so yeah, it was awesome. So
okay,
yeah.
So we were going to talk about. Is there another question, Mike, that you had?
Well, we had. Is there any out of your horror collection that you have? Is there is like in your opinion, which one is the most valuable that you have, and then which one is your favorite? I mean, I know you showed Ari Lehman the.
Yeah, this is probably my favorite thing of all, like everything that I have. Like I'll never.
What's the most rare item you have? If you had to say, okay, this is the most rare collectible horror. I mean, you can go ahead and go over into the pop 2 if it's something with the Power Rangers. But what in the horror realm is probably the most rare thing that you have?
Yeah, do you have like a rare autograph that like someone that died a while ago and like it's just like a hard to get autograph from horror?
I have so I have met and spent time with Steve Dash, who was the hooded stuntman for Friday the 13th Part 2. If you've seen the Crystal Lake Memories documentary, Warrington Gillette, who was the face that you saw, he couldn't do the sack mask, so he ended up they called in another guy. So it was Steve Dash who came in, and it's funny because you see Steve, and it's like you don't think he's going to be like you kind of think he's going to have like a deeper voice, but then he starts talking like he's from Jersey, like a mobster from Jersey, like that's how he talks. And so it was so sad, man, because he would like, we were Facebook friends and stuff. And I wasn't like too close with him, but like I remember he posted, he's like, oh, I've got to get leg surgery. I think he was like diabetic or he had something going on. He's like, I have to, I had to get leg surgery, complications from the surgery, and the leg, he died. It sucked. And then Ted White from Part 4, which from those who I think were close to him, he was more nice than others. Like I know of a friend who worked with him I don't think he had a good experience. I had a pretty good experience when I met him. It was really quick. He was quiet, but he's passed away. I have both of their autographs. So on my killers, so I told you about my victim and my final girl, right? So my killers, like if I'm meeting a killer, like a Ghostface or a Jason or whatever, I will do like, and I wish I could kind of change it, but I'm really weird about my consistency. So I'll put like the actor next to them in their killer costume. So like I have like Skeet Ulrich next to a ghost face, and then I'll have their name above it and then the movie title. So like I said, I'll have to show it to you sometime. But yeah, so that's kind of how it is. So this mask right here, the Friday the 13th, that's a part 6 mask. That's signed by the writer director. That's signed by the CJ Graham that played Jason. Signed by Tom Matthews, who was like the final guy. There wasn't really a final girl in that one.
Mm-hmm.
And then a couple other castmates have signed it. So yeah,
that's cool.
I'd say those are my main, like my big ones, like Power Rangers. Yeah, I've got, things signed by JDF, Jason David Frank, the green, white, red, black Ranger that had died. I've got him on all my group stuff. And, I guess those are worth something, but I don't think I have anything that's like worth like crazy amounts of money yet. I mean, I don't really, for me, it's kind of, I just kind of go for the experiences and like, I'll get my autographs in the process of it. But,
Right.
yeah, nothing. I mean, I guess other than Steve Dash and Ted White's autographs, like I don't really have anything crazy rare.
Right.
So
Mike really wanted you really want a Gunnar Hansen autograph, and
I'm gonna have to pay the money for it. I mean, I'm a big Leatherface fan, original Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan. That movie was one of the first movies I saw that really freaked me out at a young age.
Yeah,
and
I hate those gaps.
Fan of Gunnar Hansen.
Yeah, I hate those gaps in collections. Don't you? Like Richard Brooker, who played Jason in the third Friday the 13th. He was like the main actor. I'll never get his autograph. Sucks. Like the original Yellow Ranger, Tui Trang, who played Trini. I'll never have her on my thing. Like there's like certain ones that are like they've just passed away. That it's like, dang it, man. Like it's irrelevant, but it's like, man, I wish I could have that.
Right.
When we were in Charlotte, I was with a guy. The first convention I went to, I was there with my son, and I met a guy from Lexington, Kentucky, and he had drove over, and he was there to get somebody's autograph, and I can't remember who it was specifically he wanted. And there was they were older, and he said, "I got to get their autograph now." And I was like, "Yeah." And I said, "I'm here with my son. I'm trying to get a lot of autographs for him, because a lot of the 70s and 80s, the actors are getting older. The actresses are getting older. You don't know how much more time." And he was telling me a story at being in Indiana at a con, or maybe it was one in Kentucky, Lexington. But long story short, I think Betsy Palmer.
Yeah, man.
He's like, "Man, I had a chance to get her autograph and I didn't." And he said, like, within the next year she passed away. And he said, "I'll never get that autograph." And he said, "I should have got it when I was there." So that's something me and Josh talk about, is you never know if anybody's going to die, but especially the ones like a Ted White or some of the people getting a little older. Like I would love to have,
I'd like to have Dick Warlock's autograph.
Yeah, Dick Warlock's another one. I'd love to get.
I met him last year. He still looks like he's in pretty decent shape, but he's only doing a select few. So like, get him while you can. But
also,
you've got one that I don't. Carl Weathers.
Oh yeah, Carl Weathers. Yeah,
yeah. Who would have thought that? He looked in great shape.
Man, the guy looked like he could beat me in a race down the street. That's for sure.
My friend Tom and I went to Wizard World St. Louis the last year they did it, and we went specifically for Christian Kruick from Smallville. He and I are both big Smallville fans. I still have, he and I each still have 4 cast members to meet out of all the cast from that. And we went specifically for Kristen. It was like pretty rare that she was doing a show. She'd canceled a bunch of them. And so we were like, all right, Kristen's the priority. So like we went and met Kristen. I'm still kicking myself because it's like I had the money. The show was dead. Like there was no reason for me not to meet Carl Weathers. I just didn't. And at that point I hadn't done, I was telling you about like my designs, but I at least wanted him on an Apollo Creed something or another.
Yeah,
and
I got him on a Predator.
Which nowadays I would have done that because I've consolidated my autographs to Horror and Power Rangers. So, but yeah, I was like, oh shoot, I need to make a Carl Weathers with a Predator behind him. He died. I was like, dang it, man. That would have been. But yeah, I look back at that experience. I'm like, I could have easily met. I think the one thing that was holding me back from Carl Weathers was he wasn't doing table photos. I like to do like a table one. He does the pro photo, and I didn't want to wait for the pro photo.
But like the thing about that is like the people that are doing the table photos are also doing a bunch of professional photos. So I don't understand why you wouldn't want to make the extra money by just doing the photo at the table too.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Well, they get that same cut usually. Like if let's say it's $60 for a photo with them at a table, like it'll be 80 or 85, and then usually the promoter or the owner of the con gets $10 of every photo, and then the photo op company gets like $10 or $15 of every photo.
Oh.
So, yeah.
I'll tell you one guy I met that was nuts, and that was Lance Hendrickson, man. That guy is nuts. It was nuts, no doubt.
I met him too. He kind of just sat there over me. I don't know if he was just tired.
Oh, he was great, dude. No, I mean, like, not nuts. I mean, he was joking around, but like he was playing, like he was acting just like out of it, like during his whole Q&A.
I thought he had dementia. I was kind of feeling sad for him. I was like, this dude's out of it. And then the whole time he's joking.
But then the next day, me and Michelle went to get an autograph, and we were talking to him about it, and he was talking just like normal, and he goes, "Yeah, I tricked everybody in there. I know I did." And like I was like, "Whoa!" And then he's like, "Yeah," and then he like was making fun of the interview guy, like because he said a joke about the guy wearing a bow tie.
He wore a bow tie.
Oh, that's funny.
So yeah, no, Lance Hendrickson, he didn't charge us for a photo. He was just like, "Yeah, come in and get a photo." And I said, "Well, I didn't pay for it." He goes, "I don't care." He's like, "The girl's gonna be mad at me, but I don't care." He's like,
I want to put you on the spot here, Brandon. If you don't want to answer, just say I don't want to answer, because I'll tell you my situation. But is there anybody that you met and you were like, "Damn, I really wish I would not have met them"? I mean, like they were an asshole or something.
Yeah,
I'll give you a story to preface this. And you remember who the guy was, Josh? I think, but
oh yeah,
the guy that played the zombie, the black guy zombie. I'm over there. I'm just walking
Land of the Dead.
Yeah, I'm walking through video. I'm walking through video, and nobody has said anything at two conventions. I'm videoing, and I just like pan to his table. No videoing. No, stop.
Yep.
I'm like, who the hell? Number one, who the hell are you? I don't know who you are. You should be paying me to video you. I'm putting you on YouTube. And the guy was an asshole. I would never ask. I would never stop at his table to get an autograph the way he acted that day.
Eugene is an interesting guy. He
wears that suit like
he
all the time at the whole convention. The whole time he's at the convention.
He never has anybody at his table, and then he's pissing people off by saying, if he'd say, "Hey man, man, you're messing my funds up here, man," I'd probably come over and just pay him just to get a picture with him.
And he doesn't even have set prices. I remember when I experienced with him, he was kind of like all right, I'm ready to wheel and deal. What you got? What can I get you? I don't know. Like I kind of took it as, all right, you're that type of guy. It wasn't like it ruined the experience for me, but it was like, so I get what you're saying there. Mine, I'm so disappointed to say, and I was heartbroken, dude. And I've had many great experiences with many of the, not to small flex, but I've probably met anywhere between 600 to 800 celebrities at these things. And I just this, with how many I've done and how many I've worked with, you just meet so many. But the one that I wanted that great experience with was Edward James Olmos. He was the commander admiral in Battlestar Galactica, and he was like a very fatherly type of guy.
Is that the guy with like the really bad like acne scars?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, mind you, this is two experiences 2 years apart. So my first experience with him, he was here at Indy PopCon, and I went up to his table, or I was walking around, and I was a volunteer. Usually volunteers kind of get hook up stuff. So I was volunteering. It just depends on the show you go to. But so I said, "Hey man, can I get a photo with you?" He's like, "If you hurry up." So I was like, "Okay." So I went around the table and took a picture. He's like, "All right." Yeah. I walked away. He's just all right. So, and at that point, I was only doing pictures. I hadn't started autograph collecting yet. Well, 2 years later, C2E2, 2016, I went to maybe 2018, I can't remember. C2E2 in Chicago. I went. He was there again. I'm like, all right. Well, I started, doing the Battlestar cast, and I knew that what's his name, the chief was there at like another booth, and I think Madam President was there too. Mary, what's her name? So he was there. So I went there, and I had my print ready, my Admiral Adama print ready for him to sign and stuff. And I go up to his table, or I go up to him, and I'm like, "Hey, so do you have any it was one of those just kind of random questions you ask, and it was like, do you have any stories from set, or any memories, or that, what's your favorite memory from set or whatever?" He goes, "Well, if you would have come to the panel last night, you would have been able to hear stories like that."
Dang.
I was like, "Oh," and I thought he was kidding at first. He's like, "All right," and then he signed. He's like, "Here you go. Have a nice day." And I'm like, "All right." So I was really hoping for maybe I just caught him on a bad day or whatever. Nope, it sucked. So
Dang.
I was bummed, man. But on the flip side, if you've ever watched Battlestar Galactica, his number 2, Michael Hogan, the XO, that was probably one of my top 3 best experiences. I was working with a Power Ranger here at Indy PopCon, and he was next to us at the table. He and I were joking with each other back and forth the entire day. I don't know. There'd be points when he'd walk out and I'd walk out. And, "Oh, hey, Mike, I saw your son Hulk on TV." "Oh, yeah." And he invited me to dinner. He thought I was funny. We had dinner together. It was really he was awesome. The XO, and he's an asshole in the show. Adama's the heart, the father that you kind of see him want. He had lost a son, and he's trying to bond with his other son, and it's "Oh, daddy," you kind of see those characters like the dad on Smallville or Bob Saget in Full House. You just want you meet you hope that they're that character in real life, and they were polar opposites of each other. So that's my kind of rough. And now I've heard Edward James Olmos is nice to other people. I'm sure maybe I just asked the wrong questions or caught him on the wrong day. I don't know, but
anybody in the horror realm that was a jerk to you?
I can't really think of anybody. Everybody's been. This is the weird thing. So, and I'm saying this as kind of a whole. In my experience with both Power Rangers and horror, there is the nicest people in the world come from the horror.
I've heard I have experienced in only 2 conventions, same thing, and I've had somebody the very first convention I went to told me that. She said, "This is not like a Comic-Con, anything else." She said, "A horror convention, you'll be shocked at how nice the people were." And then when we met PJ Souls, she was awesome.
It's so funny.
Yeah, PJ Souls was awesome, and she was doting over my son's hair and just telling these great stories. And then Heather Langenkamp was the same way. I mean, they're just super nice. And Nev Campbell was the same way. Nev said,
Nev Campbell was a sweetheart.
She said, "I got a 12-year-old son, and he's 13, and telling stories about her son." I mean, and one thing I can say is Ed Neal, Edwin Neal, that played the hitchhiker in the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He told me a story, me and my son, a story at his table, and he's probably the one I've talked to the longest. Him and Kane Hodder. Kane Hodder spent a lot of time with my son.
Yeah, and Mike, hey, listen to this. Okay, I'm just going to interrupt you for a minute. Mike thought Kane Hodder would remember him from one con to another, though.
Really, Josh? Really? You really have to bring that up? I mean, Josh goes up to Sydney and starts blabbering blah, 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 blah. He's spitting stuff coming out.
I did.
But you got me off what was I talking about, Josh? Now you didn't mess me up. Oh, Ed Neal. He told me, he said, we were at a convention with Nev Campbell, and it was on a Sunday at the very end, and said she still had a long line. And she was talking to Ed Neal, who was right beside her table, and she made a comment. She said, "I'm going to stay here and sign all these autographs because these people have waited for a long time, even if I have to catch another flight."
Yep.
And Ed Neal kind of jokingly told her, said, "Yeah, you ought to, because they've paid for your house." And she started laughing about it. She said, "You're exactly right." So he told us, he didn't have to say this. She wasn't even next to him. But Ed Neal said, "Listen," said, "she's a sweetheart." And she'll stay there, she'll stay there and sign everything. We had the same situation with Matthew Lillard. We were in the very back of the line. I didn't pay the RIP price because it was sold out, Josh. And the lady,
Why
the
is that
handler,
my fault?
is actually was Sean Clark's girlfriend. She was the handler for Matthew Lillard. Mm-hmm. She came to the back of the line when she saw us and said, "What do you want to get?" And I told her, and she said, "Follow me." And I was like, "What do you mean?" She said, "Just follow me." We walked all the way up to third in line, and I'd already been waiting 45 minutes. We were probably 125 people in line. And she said, Matthew said, all kids get to move to the front.
Oh, cool.
He didn't have to do that. I didn't pay RIP price. I didn't do anything else. He wanted all kids to move to the front to get their autograph.
Like I feel like, and I said it, my experience wasn't bad with Matthew Lillard. It's just very short and like basically like next. That's how I felt. Now the person in front of me got like 5 minutes worth of chatting.
Well,
but I got sign next.
No, when Matthew Lillard with us, he asked us about what he wanted to sign on the ghost face. We had him sign it and also had Skeet sign it. But he told my son, he looked him in the eye and he said, whoever's raised you has raised you right. And I said, I was picking. I said, well, his mom, not me. And he says, he looked at my son in the eyes and he said, what I like about you, and I know you're raised right, is you're being a real man. You're looking at me eye to eye. He said, too many other kids look this way, look that way. He said, anytime you're talking to somebody else, you look them in the eye, shake their hand. He said, you've done that. So he didn't have to tell my son that. It was something nice that he told my son, face to face, and he'll always remember that.
Right. You also had a really good experience with the guy who plays Hellraiser too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doug Bradley was great. Doug Bradley only charged $40. And
he's this stuff cheap, man. Like that's what I appreciate about that guy.